Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Minnesota.
Down 5-1 in the fourth, the Chicago White Sox battled back last night to an eventual walk-off victory thanks to a towering home run for Trace Thompson. The Minnesota Twins have now been on the wrong side of a walk-off 5 times so far this season. But tonight, they look for some payback in Game 2 of the 4-game series against their divisional foe inside Guaranteed Rate Field. Welcome to Chicago's Southside, everyone. I'm Audra Martin. Last night did not go as planned for the Minnesota Twins, who are really hoping to turn things around here in early May. But tonight, there is reason for optimism, and it has to do with the guy on the mound. And tonight, it's Jose Barrios. There is something about facing Chicago that seems to bring out the best in the young righty. With a 4-1 record against the Sox, his most recent win came in April in dominating fashion. 7 scoreless innings along with 11 strikeouts, a number that he's hit twice against Chicago. So tonight, Paul Molitor says he's feeling pretty optimistic about his team's chances in Game 2.
I look forward to when he pitches for us. I feel we, can go out there and, obviously he's developing into, one of the, better right-handed pitchers around, but he's got a ways to go to build up that track record and consistency. And, even though it's unfortunate when a start like the last one happens, the reality when you get some of those outings where your pitch count is held down a little bit, sometimes it can recharge you, not only into the next start, but you need those a little bit along the way. So, yeah, I'm sure he's anxious to get back out there after that last game. And, we'll see what it brings, but I think he's going to have a good night.
A bright spot in the loss last night was the 3-hit performance from Logan Morrison. Dick Bramer and Roy Smalley take a look at how things are turning around for the Twins' designated hitter coming up next.
Baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. and by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us.
The Twins are in Chicago. Last year, the Twins were really good, one of the best teams in the American League, in fact, on the road, but that has not been the case so far this year. They hope to get their road record turned around starting tonight in Game 2. And we welcome you to Chicago. Dick Bramer and Roy Smalley for Game 2 after another disappointing loss last night for the Twins. In the offseason, the Twins wanted to address some shortcomings in the pitching staff. They also wanted to get a veteran bat to be their primary designated hitter. And Logan Morrison last night showed some signs that he might be ready to produce like he did last year with the Rays.
The Twins need a lot of guys to step up and play better than they have, not the least of which is their DH position. You cannot play in the American League without a run-producing DH. They went out and got Logan Morrison, 38 home runs last year, and he was off to a horrific start this year, but last 7 games really started to turn it on and be the kind of hitter that the Twins saw when he hit all those home runs last year. And I'll tell you, when you're going through what he went through as a hitter, you can't sleep, you feel terrible, it's hard to look anybody in the eye. Any kind of positive performance at all, and you start feeling a little bit better. I wouldn't be surprised to see Logan Morrison now with this on this little 7-game run finally take a deep breath and start swinging the bat like he can.
Well, the Twins have had a horrid 2-week stretch. We all know that. They'd like to get things turned around starting tonight. They got the right guy on the mound. Guy who has emerged as their ace, Jose Barrios, will start for the Twins in Game 2.
Chicago's a great city.
It's a city that you'll never be bored in.
It's got that big city feel, but also kind of a small town feel at the same time.
Really good food.
Girl and the Goat. Best restaurant.
I love the city, love to go out and eat. A lot of great restaurants there.
I always enjoy going there.
Favorite city in the big leagues.
And you had the opportunity, Roy Smalley, to play here as a visiting player, but also you played here as a hometown player. Once you got here to Chicago and played for the White Sox, did your opinion of the city change at all?
Actually got better because we were able to, I was only here for 2.5 months, but we got a chance to live downtown. It was a blast.
And Paul Molitor hoping to smile more often. It's been, as we said, a horrid 2 weeks for the Twins. And let's take a look at the Twins lineup. And it's different tonight. Joe Mauer in the leadoff spot, then Brian Dozier, Max Kepler, Eddie Rosario, Eduardo Escobar, Logan Morrison, A-Ray Adrianza, Jason Castro, and Ryan Lamar. Bauer, of course, one of the top on-base percentage guys of his generation, so the Twins mixing things up with Dozier slumping, and we'll see if that makes any difference in terms of run production. And Bauer takes strike one.
The home furniture starting pitcher, Carson Fulmer, on the mound. Remember him maybe from the College World Series where they won, and he won at Vanderbilt. Terrific young pitcher, and is going to be a good big league pitcher as well.
Backhanded by Anderson, and Mauer retired, one away. And the Northland Ford defense for the White Sox. Nicky Delmonico in left, Lurie Garcia in center, Daniel Palka is in right field. Yolmer Sanchez, Tim Anderson, Yohan Moncada back in the lineup for the White Sox, Jose Abreu, and Omar Narvaez behind the plate. Brian Dozier hitting second. At the end, he hopes of a 3 for 43 slump. The average down to 226. And he takes strike one. Right guy to break out against. He is 2 for 3 with 2 home runs against Carson Fulmer. Swing and a miss, 0-2. I was going to ask you what the worst slump was of your career, and you probably have gone through thousands of dollars of therapy to forget all about it. But how did you get out of it? The slumps that you came in.
Now that you bring it up, it'd be like Inspector Clouseau's boss. I was going to start twitching here. I was over it.
Until
Dick.
I brought it up.
Yeah, bring it up.
But how do you break out of it? What are the keys for a hitter?
Well, I told you the Yogi story. He broke out. He told me he was over 32, and then he hit a home run. That fixed that. You don't. Everybody does it differently, and you have to just figure out some way to get your do something positive with the baseball. I think a lot of guys worry about mechanics too much when they're in a slump, and they get their brains going a million miles an hour thinking about where their stride is and where their feet are and where their hands are and different things. Sometimes you just need to try to do something positive with the ball, like I'm going to hit this ball to right center. I don't care where the pitch is. I'm going to hit it to the opposite field, or whatever it is. Because when you're in a slump, basically you get into a slump, you do something, your mechanics change a little bit, you get a little tired, something changes, and you miss pitches that you should hit. And then you start wondering if there's something mechanical, and you fix the wrong things, and then you miss pitches that you should hit. And you got to just get yourself back on the watching the ball more than anything else.
Dozier fouls it.
Ted Williams, I asked Ted Williams one time, we were in spring training, and I saw Ted at the Red Sox spring training home, and spent some time talking with him. I said, when you were in a slump, and I know slumps are different for you than a guy like me, but when you were in a slump, what would you do when you weren't seeing the ball real well or whatever? And he said, I would choke up a little bit, and I'd get up on the plate, and I'd try to ram the ball back through the middle.
Okay.
And that makes an awful lot of sense to me, rather than just keep swinging the same way knowing it's going to come back. Ted Williams would change his place in the box. He would choke up on the bat, and he'd try to hit line drives at the pitcher, and that's all he was trying to do, is hit line drives back through the middle. And what that would do is make him watch the ball longer. You can't hit the ball someplace specific on the field if you're not watching it a long time.
There's one down the right field line, and that'll be a fair ball, and Dozier will get an extra base hit. And he's rounding second, on his way to third. The throw to the second cutoff man, and Dozier almost does a Yangervis Solarte, sliding into third base. But it is a 1-out triple for the new number 2 hitter.
Well, a lot of good things happened right there. First of all, Brian hits this ball outside pitch to down the right field line. And we're going to talk about that as the game goes on a little bit. But the second thing, and that's a great swing with 2 strikes. The second thing he does well is with 1 out. Yikes. A little bit of a spit wad slide there, and almost took his chin out. But what he did was recognize that there's 1 out. It's a good gamble if he's got a chance to get to third, go to third. Hustling all the way out of the box, and gets to third base with less than 2 out.
And now here's Kepler. I don't know if you saw what happened to Solarte yesterday early in the doubleheader. that the Blue Jays had with the Indians, but he did the same thing Dozier did. He got his arms pinned underneath him, and he did a face plant and scraped his nose and his lip, and then had to play the rest of the doubleheader that way, and got, what, 8 hits in the 2 games. And fouled back. And the count's 1-1.
Far be it from me to tell Brian Dozier how to hit. I wouldn't presume to do anything like of that sort. But I will say this: I've watched him for a long time now, and I've watched him go through bad streaks like this, and then I've watched him come out of it and go on absolute tears, home runs and otherwise. And every streak that he has had, bad streak that he has had, has ended.
And Abreu with a nice pickup. Dozier frozen at third base, 2 away.
That's good at bat by Kepler. Hit the ball hard. That's all you can do. But we'll talk about Brian a little bit. I have seen him, every great streak that he has after a slump has started with him hitting the ball to right field. Whether he means to or not, whether he's working on it or not, I don't think he even wants to hit the ball to right field. But I've seen it for 3 years now, where the slumps end and the really big streaks start with some base hits down the right field line into right center into center field. So we'll see if that triple down the right field line gets him going a little bit.
Now with 2 out, Rosario will try to plate the first run of the game. Big pop up over the Chicago dugout, out of play, 1 strike. Fulmer's been tough, just 2 earned runs allowed in his last 2 starts, covering 13 innings. So the Twins, who got the 1-out triple from Dozier, would like to get him in from third base with 2 outs. And we've seen Rosario, whether it's more relaxed or whatever, he's been a much better hitter since the Twins went to Puerto Rico.
Since they got out of Puerto Rico.
Right. Outside, and it's 1-1.
I didn't start right away with Eddie. It took him a while. I even noticed, I was with you in New York and did the games with you there, and his swing had gotten really long, and I'm convinced that he wanted to do some really big things home run wise in Puerto Rico, and it got him off of his game. And the assistant hitting coach Rudy Hernandez went to him and got that straightened out.
1-1. And Rosario with a big swing and miss, 1-2.
See, that's a little big for him again. And when he's swinging the bat well, there's a very, very short distance. See, his hands go back. He's in really good position, and then he opens up a little bit, and you see the low to high. The head comes out. That's a bigger swing than Eddie Rosario normally takes when he's swinging well.
Pop up out of play through this 2-week, what'd you call it, malaise? That's a good word. 2-out hitting hasn't been non-existent, but it hasn't been as common as a team should have if it's going to win ball games. So we'll see if Rosario can deliver here. With a 1-2 count, Dozier's able to scamper down the line about 30 feet with the third baseman Sanchez almost equidistant between second and third. Tapper foul. It's kind of what Dozier did in his at bat. He got 2 strikes early, had 3 2-strike fouls, and then eventually got something he could handle for the triple.
And sometimes you're talking about slumps and getting out of them. Sometimes in a bat like that, when you've got 2 strikes, you're battling and battling, you foul the ball off, and with every successive foul ball, you see the ball a little better, you get a little closer, and then finally you get a hit to the opposite field, and then you're kind of out of it.
And this one may stay in play near the tarp. And the catch made by Sanchez, and Dozier's left at third base. A scoreless top of the first inning. 2 batter. Rick Renteria had a tough time against the Twins last year. He's 1-1 against them this year. And here's the Menards batting order for Chicago. Yoan Moncada had a hamstring issue, didn't play yesterday. He's in the lineup tonight. Yolmer Sanchez, Jose Abreu, Nicky Delmonico, Matt Davidson, Daniel Palka, Lurie Garcia, Tim Anderson, and Omar Narvaez.
Home Furniture starting pitcher Jose Barrios, hoping to channel the last start he had against the White Sox, which was absolutely overpowering.
First pitch lifted to left, and Rosario hardly has to move. And the ball drifting out near the warning track, 1 away. Take a look at the Twins out in the field. A different look out there as well. Rosario in left. Ryan Lamar is in center with Kepler moving back to right field. And a change at short as well with Adrianza in for Petit and Castro behind the plate. And Ryan Lamar, very fleet-footed right-handed batter, getting a chance. And Adrianza had a couple days out of the starting lineup to try to work on his hitting stroke, see if he can find something to contribute offensively. And there's strike 1 to Sanchez. Barrios 4-1 with a 1.67 ERA against the White Sox. He beat them in the only game played in Minnesota earlier this year. And he has some matchups against Chicago hitters that are really frightful from the Chicago perspective. We'll talk about those as we move along here, but the count to Sanchez is 0-2. Act foul.
I watched the game that he pitched at Target Field against these White Sox hitters from home. I watched from home, and I tweeted out, as a matter of fact, that night, I don't know that I've seen more of an overmatch than that was. He just absolutely dominated that lineup. They had no chance that night.
Sanchez with a 2-strike bunt, and Barrios from his knees can't make the play. A 1-hop throw to Mauer. I think he would have been out if Joe had been able to backhand it, but Barrios fumbled the ball on his first attempt to pick it up, and Sanchez has a bunt single.
Yeah, an impossible pick for Joe. That hop, if he'd have caught this ball right here, I mean, just give him the Gold Glove right now. Now when he slides, he hurries, and I think he has time still with a good throw. He slides, loses the ball, and then he rushed his throw. And I think he's such a good athlete. I think if he'd have been able to calm down and just throw a strike, I think he'd have had him.
A 2-strike bunt single. And here is Abreu.
That will give you a little bit of an idea what the White Sox think of Barrios' stuff.
Abreu against Barrios is 1 for 12 with 6 strikeouts. And he's not the worst Chicago hitter against Barrios. Matt Davidson, their designated hitter, hitting 5th tonight, is 0 for 9 with 8 strikeouts against Barrios. Davidson probably checked the lineup and said, "Are you kidding?" And Barrios has had a couple of disappointing starts. We talked about Rosario maybe feeling a little pressure with the games in Puerto Rico, and has responded since positively. For Barrios, it's been just the opposite. He handled the game in Puerto Rico brilliantly, but he struggled in his 2 starts since. A total of 7 innings and 9 earned runs. That's a close play at first. And the Twins may challenge the pickoff play at first. We've seen Paul Molitor do this a couple times already. Go ahead and challenge a call in the very first inning. And there will be no challenge here. 1 strike to Abreu. Fouled off or up the third base line. White Sox like to run. Last year they only stole 71 bases, but they're on a pace to steal 162 this year. They've stolen 1 base for every game played. So we saw Castro throw out a couple of runners last night trying to steal. They were successful once.
Watch this pitch right here, the last pitch to Abreu. So a fastball that runs in so hard in on his hands. And look at his arms. His arms have to kind of crocodile in. He try to get. What makes him so effective is he can come in hard like that, and then that breaking ball away, right there. That's the sequence of pitches that's so hard for hitters, because when Berríos comes in inside 94, 95, sometimes 96, and the ball keeps moving in, you can't help but start opening up quick and worried about the inside pitch. And then you're so vulnerable to that one. You see how far out in front, out over his front foot. If that ball had been down, if that had been Berríos' best curveball, down a little, about 6 inches lower, he swings and misses it.
2 strikes to Abreu. They pitch out and try to back pick to first. You know, that center field slow motion replay we showed of the Berríos breaking ball, I think gives viewers an idea certainly of how much it breaks, but I think that in playing it in slow motion you get an idea of how late it breaks.
Yep. That's when that's the really good curveballs are a lot of break very late in the ball's trip to the plate.
So figure from the point of release, the ball leaves the hand 55 feet from home plate, and with Berríos it looks like the ball doesn't start breaking till it's about 20 feet from the plate,
or later.
1 and 2, and now 2 and 2. So imagine, take a look at last year, or his very first season, and what his splits were in terms of pitches he threw and how it's changed in a couple of years. 2 and 2 to Abreu. Deep to left center field, hit a long way and gone, and it is 2-0 Chicago. Abreu fought off some tough 2-strike pitches and then got something he could handle.
And then got a hanger. And see that a couple of things. For me, that's just that's not understanding this particular hitter. You watch here. Here's the breaking ball, and it just sits up there. That one does not break late and a lot. That one sits right there. And Abreu is so good on breaking ball strikes because he waits so long, and that's. You can beat him on the fastball inside, especially 2 strikes, because he will not give in and try to pull a fastball. He just fights it off and fights it off and fights it off so that he's not too overfooled by anything else.
Strike over the inside corner.
You have to understand what the hitter's trying to do, and Abreu hits the ball over the field anyway, but with 2 strikes, he is deadly on breaking ball strikes because he waits so long and fights off the fastball. That's why I really thought where Berríos and Castro were going was inside fastball, that one inside fastball that they threw, that they were on the right track, but that was the last one they threw him.
And now 2-1.
I think that he's got such a good curveball, does Berríos, but I really think he gets away from his fastball way too soon.
Just the 4th home run allowed by Berríos, and now a swing and a miss. 2 and 2. Four innings in his start against the Yankees, only 3 innings in his start against the Reds. Big pop-up behind second base. Adrianza makes the catch, 2 down. With 2 down in the first, let's get tonight's scoop from Audra Martin.
Well, guys, Paul Molitor said the decision to change things up in the lineup was because he felt like he had to do something, and he doesn't have a ton of options because of the amount of lefties in the lineup. But he also admits it was to hopefully get Brian Dozier turned around. Hopefully he'd be able to take advantage of Joe Mauer's on-base percentage, and so far, so good. Good news from Byron Buxton. He was out today doing some light running, and Paul Molitor said his batting practice went really well. His straight-ahead running is getting close, but it's the explosive moves, you know, those quick cuts that still are a work in progress, have a bit of ways to go, but he says every day gets a little bit better, so that's very encouraging, but still no timetable on when they expect him to return.
Thank you, Audra. Byron is hoping that he might be able to jump back into the lineup at the big league level by the time the Twins get to St. Louis on Monday. Swinging a foul back, and you know, he hasn't swung a bat in a game since before Puerto Rico, so 2.5 weeks, something like that, would be kind of tough. He was on a rehab assignment. That's how he broke the toe, fouling a ball against his big toe. 1-1 to Davidson. And Davidson not only puts the ball in play, he gets a hit. He's now 1 for 10 with 8 strikeouts against Barrios. 3rd hit of the inning. And that'll bring up Daniel Palka. And the location. Target was down and away, and the pitch was up and in.
Well, he got in on him a little bit. It wasn't the best pitch in the world, but Davidson's a strong guy. Hit the ball down toward the label, and just muscled it into center field.
And a fastball. Strike 1.
You can't throw the ball where you want to every pitch. I mean, it's humanly impossible to do that. You're going to throw some balls in the middle of the plate, and you're going to give up some hits.
94 again for a called second strike.
Palka looks like the classic left-handed hitting low ball home run hitter swing. Doesn't look like he even wants to offer that ball. If Barrios gets the high fastball called, it's going to be a good spot. Yep.
Last night, the Twins struck early against the White Sox and saw the White Sox come back and win. And tonight, the Twins hope to flip the script. Inning.
And the Pizza Ranch for the win. What the heck do we have to do to win a ball game here? It's really team-wide execution. Everybody needs to clean up what they do, what their role is on the team. Get guys in from third, move guys over, catch the ball, pitch well. Team-wide, you just have to execute. And as the Tampa Bay football coach and former USC football coach John McKay said when asked about his team execution, he said, I think it'd be a real good idea.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think it'd be a really good idea. Sometimes managers and coaches, that's the way they feel about it. But it really is true when you're in a team-wide slump. It's because You're not doing little things, and you're just not playing crisp baseball.
Up and away. Now 1-1 to Escobar. Well, from a viewer standpoint, this game is not fun unless your team is winning. Now imagine what it's like for a player, because you come out of spring training, you have high hopes, high expectations of having a good season. There's a high drive to right field, and Escobar has answered right away. A home run for Escobar, his 5th of the year, and it's 2-1. I would never throw this man a pitch where Fulmer threw that pitch.
No, you can't pitch him down and expect to get him out consistently, and especially if you watch this pitch, a little breaking ball that settles right down about knee to mid-thigh high. That's just absolutely his happy zone right there. I mean, you throw that pitch right there, he'll hit 600 on that pitch.
Here is Logan Morrison. Had a good night at the plate last night with 7 total bases, a home run, a double, and a single. And he takes down an in strike 1.
Fulmer's got a good curveball. We just saw a very good one to Morrison right there, sort of Barrios-like. But the curveball to Escobar was a lot like the curveball that Barrios threw to Abreu.
Popped up foul and out of play. Morrison with a double down the left field line.
Yep, looked to right and hit to left. That was a little flare that just means he's coming out of it. There he stays on a changeup and drills a no-doubter just inside the foul pole. Would get another breaking ball and line it into right for a hit. So he's getting there. That had to be the source of some huge size of relief.
He might have gotten jammed there a little bit.
Yep.
One down. This is such a great opportunity for the Twins. We all know they've played terrible baseball for 2 weeks. But if they do what they did so well last year, catch it, throw it, and pitch it, they're playing the White Sox. They should win. Now, if they do it to the level they did last year, they might win all 3 games. While the Indians are playing the Yankees in New York, and the Yankees are already leading 4-0 in the first game of that series. So you can make up a lot of ground and make up for a lot of sins in the 1-loss column if you just start playing better baseball. When Paul Molitor was asked about Fernando Romero's outing at the homestand finale, he didn't, well, he said, yeah, it was nice to win a ball game, but it was nice to play a good game.
Right. That's exactly what we're talking about. And so much of the time when you get beat late in the innings, you can late in the game, later innings, you can look back to the first inning when you didn't score a runner from third with less than 2 out, or you can look in the second inning or third inning when a play wasn't made. Just little things. An extra base wasn't taken, or you give the other team, with an error or a wild pitch or a pass ball or something, you give the other team a run that they didn't have to do much to earn.
Adrianza lashes one to center field. He's got a base hit.
So it's a team. It's a team-wide deal. I mean, it really is. It's sure the bullpen's got to be better, and sure the starters have to go deeper in the game, but also certainly the hitters got to swing the bat better than they've been swinging it, and the defense has to play better than they've been playing. Nice swing here by Adrianza, as Dick mentioned, been working very hard in his couple of off days to work on his stroke, and that's a nice short, compact line drive swing right there.
And now Jason Castro, if he hits a double here, the Twins will have hit for the cycle against Fulmer in the first trip through the batting order. And he takes strike 1. Castro trying to climb out of an early season slump. Twins have stolen well, but not very frequently. With Buxton out of the lineup, that's part of the game that's all but disappeared. 12 steals and 15 tries. Byron is 4 for 4. So the Twins, with 27 games played, have tried 11 steals that haven't involved Byron Buxton. And Adrianza 1 for 1 in stolen bases. marked foul. And it's 0-2.
We looked at Paul Molitor a second ago. I know that he'd like to have his team run more than they have so far. They haven't had a lot of guys on that are the base stealing guys. It's not exactly like the base stealers have been on first base time and time again.
2 strikes to the Twins catcher. And Castro lifts it foul. Adrianza took a couple of hard steps toward second base, but then stopped. Explain why a runner would do that, why he would take off and then slam on the brakes.
Well, sometimes it's because he actually was going to go and he didn't. He started and knew he didn't get the jump that he should get, and sometimes it's just a decoy.
Sometimes maybe take off, and if the pitcher delivered a slide step, you can abort the stolen base attempt.
That happens a lot.
Big leg kick, and Castro takes inside.
As base stealers mature, they understand that they're going, if they get the steal sign, they're going when they get a good jump, and when the pitcher gives a delivery that's conducive to them running. It's just exactly what you say. If the pitcher quickens up or slide steps or something, they're not supposed to go. They're supposed to read that.
Big leg kick again and a check swing. Strike 3. Castro's gone for out number 2.
Wow.
Gary Cederstrom rung up Castro for out number 2.
Well, you know, I didn't even look at it twice in that check swing. As soon as he stopped his swing, I looked at the throw to first. But I mean, we'd have to see that from the side, from that angle, and from our angle up here. I'd never even thought twice about it.
Well,
from the side. Yeah, in slow motion, it's going to look like it.
No, that was a check in my book.
I think it's a check, but again, slow motion, it almost always looks like he goes too far.
Ryan Lamar, the number 9 batter. And for Lamar, 24 at bats, 8 hits, all singles, a couple of runs batted in. Adrianza can run a little bit, and the Twins need a double to complete the cycle, and it might just tie the game. Swung on and fouled back.
Good swing there by Ryan. Got the big end of the bat right to the ball. This is tough duty when you don't play very much. His at bats have been few and far between. He had a flurry of them around the Puerto Rico time. Got a big hit in the 16th inning to win a ball game, but since then he hadn't had an awful lot of very many at bats.
And there's, I believe, a balk was called. No, first base umpire Stu Sherwater was just lunging to get out of the way. I thought he called a balk.
He was thinking that ball was going down the right field line and coming right at him.
I heard a yelp. 1 strike to Lamar. And that is boxed up by Narvaez, and Adrianza will go to second. Taking a big turn, thinking of third base. Did the smart thing and holding up. It's got to be a pass ball, I would guess, but here in Chicago, you never know. Another Narvaez pass ball. 3rd one of the series already.
Yeah, he went after that ball. Really, I can't explain it. It just.
He was swatting a mosquito.
Yeah, it looked like he was crossed up, and he clearly wasn't. But fastball. I mean, why you would try to backhand the ball, going to that side of the glove? I don't know. That's driving Tim London crazy in our studio after doing the pregame show and watching the game now. To have some things to say about in the postgame show. I gotta believe that. I gotta believe Timmy's having some things to say out loud about the way Narvaez tried to fix it. I wouldn't even be surprised if Tim shows that and talks about it after the game.
2-1. And the dirt blocked by Narvaez, and it's 3-1 with Mauer on deck. Narvaez has 6 pass balls on the year, and 3 in this series.
Jimmy Lutter knows an awful lot about catching, and not only he did a really cool deal on the pregame show with Castro's ability to throw, the way catchers come flying out of their stance. He would do a don't do that for Narvaez.
And Lamar delivers into center field. Adrianza around second and third, and he'll score the tying run. And Lamar gets another single to tie the game. Big 2-out hit for the center fielder.
Well, big hit it was. Ball on the outside corner, couldn't take it. Too close to take with 2 strikes.
Right off the end of the bat.
Gets it off the end of the bat, but makes contact, puts it in play, and you never know. Nice job of hitting there by Ryan.
So just like that, the Twins have tied it up. Lamar, of course, can run a little bit. He's at first for Mauer. We've talked about how this lineup hasn't clicked yet. And certainly the absences of Buxton and Sano and Polanco from last year have contributed to that. But that's just the 6th run batted in from the number 9 spot in the Twins batting order. Castro's hit there a lot this year. He has just 3 runs batted in. And Lamar just got a big one to tie the game. Fouled away, 2 strikes. We saw last year it made no difference, no apparent difference, where an inning started in the Twins batting order the last 2 months. Somebody was very likely going to get on base, and somebody else was going to get a chance to drive in a run, whether it was the 8th hitter or the 9th hitter. 0-2 to Mauer. He had a ground ball to short his first time up.
I would have thought that this might be a situation where Paul would turn Lamar loose to run.
And Mauer is called out on a check swing. Fulmer ends the inning with a breaking ball, but he gives up 3 hits and a couple of runs in the second. Left and Lamar on the right. Twins have tied it up 2-2, and now Lurie Garcia will face Barrios. And he goes after the first pitch and lifts it foul. So did Moncada to start the first inning. Garcia, Anderson, and Narvaez to hit against Barrios, who would like to forget all about the 1 pitch he hung to Abreu and move on and pitch deep into the ball game here tonight. Tapped up the right side. Dozier flips to Barrios. Good play with Mauer running past and allowing Dozier, who was cutting toward the bag, to make what would have been an easier play.
So just like an outfielder will call off an infielder on a pop fly in between the two of them, Brian was able to circle that ball and come straight in on it and call Joe off. See right here, Joe's got to go a long way. Brian said, I got it, I can take that. And Joe understands that that's an easier play for Brian coming straight at the ball. And then Brian makes a nice flip. Berrios had found the bag already. Perfect timing.
Here's Tim Anderson, 1 for 13 with 6 strikeouts against Berrios. Strike one. Berrios trying to put up a 0, something he has not done in 7 straight innings. In his first inning against the Yankees, he had a good inning, put up a 0. Then they scored in 3 straight innings, and the Reds did in 3 straight innings. And sure enough, here tonight, Abreu hit a 2-run home run in the first, so he's given up runs in 7 straight innings. 2 strikes.
Well, that's something that most of us would not have thought probable, even possible for a guy with this kind of stuff. But this is the big leagues. These guys can hit. And even if your stuff is as plus as Berrios is, you have to make the pitches. You have to throw it where you're trying to throw it. And your both selection and location have to be good at this level.
Berrios has delivered first pitch strikes to 7 of the first 8 hitters. And foul back, still 1-2.
You see a defensive swing like that from a hitter. I mean, he was overmatched with a fastball. That either means he's overmatched, so throw it to him again, or he's waiting a long time to see it, so you have to be careful about a breaking ball.
Line to Mauer. Well hit ball for out number 2. And that'll bring up Narvaez. In our Dairy Queen combination, Berrios and Odorizzi have done a nice job. And we've seen, of course, Romero do more than his part in his 1 start. Gibson's been okay. The biggest issue, of course, has been with Lance Lynn and his difficulty throwing strikes, and Lynn will make the start tomorrow night against Hector Santiago. White Sox announcing that today, that former Twin Hector Santiago will start tomorrow, and the Twins will finally see a left-handed pitcher. And we've talked over the last several games about how Buxton and Sano are supposed to be the 2 big weapons from the right side of the plate. And then Dozier goes into a slump, and there hasn't been much of a presence from the right side, and now finally the Twins will face a left-handed starter.
Yeah, I would not sell Brian Dozier short at all, even slumping Brian Dozier against left-handed pitching. He's always hit left-handers very, very well, and has to be considered one of the primary run producers and guys that you would look to in this lineup, along with Sano and Buxton, certainly.
Dozier's hitting .294 against lefties. 2-1 to Narvaez. Big pop-up into the twilight.
Yep, it's twilight up there.
And Escobar calls it, catches it. Castro, I don't think, even saw it. Berrios has a 1-2-3 inning and does put up a 0 in the second. story in baseball today involved Matt Harvey.
This is unbelievable.
He refused a demotion to the minor leagues, and the Mets designated him for assignment, which means any team, starting with the team with the worst record, they can pick him up if they choose to. And Harvey has seen his stuff decline significantly over the last few years. Of course, the arm injuries have contributed to that. But a bold move by Sandy Alderson to DFA Matt Harvey.
That is a precipitous fall, isn't it? From
Not only that, it's steep.
Exactly.
Here's Dozier to lead off the third inning.
Precipitous is way steeper than steep.
Inside, ball one. And so everybody made a big to-do about Dozier moving down to second instead of hitting first, and his second time through the order, he's leading off an inning. So
well, that's the thing about you're only in the American League for sure. You're only leadoff hitter the first time up.
2-0.
That's why a guy's able to drive in 99 runs from leadoff spot in the American League. You get 6, 7, 8, 9 hitters having some good streaks in front of you, and you're hot. You're going to drive in a bunch of runs. And by the way, hit 35 home runs, 30 to 40. You're going to drive in some runs.
Where do you think he should hit?
You know, that's an interesting question. I like him. I really like Paul's move here, hit second right now. Sometimes it takes something really drastic to shake somebody up, and I don't mean that there's anything wrong with Brian other than just do something. So
there's a drive to deep left field, a triple in the first inning, and a home run in the third.
Sometimes it just takes something, getting a guy totally out of the comfort zone, so he just gets. You know, we talk about baseball being a game of familiarity. You don't want to get too familiar with 4 for 43 or whatever it was, right? I mean, let's do something different now. And two things happened. He moved into the second spot. He fought off a bunch of foul balls to hit a ball down the right field line, and then sure enough, here comes the home run swing again. That's the best he's stayed back on something that looked like a changeup the way he swung at it. It wasn't a breaking ball. But he made it look like an off-speed pitch, but how quick his bat was through the zone, and that's the best he stayed on a ball in, I don't know, 43 at-bats, probably.
Smiles in the dugout with Dozier already with 7 total bases. Strike one to Kepler.
And he's got the 2 toughest ones for the cycle out of the way. Looks like they might have done a little silent treatment for him there. Yeah, they gave a little silent treatment.
But what you said before about not just Brian, we'll take a look at the scene in the dugout.
So he gets in, he says first home run in a month and a half or 2, however long it is, and nobody's saying anything to him. He's laughing, sits down next to Joe. Joe just says, hey, how you doing? How you feeling here in this slump?
A foul ball.
They waited a little bit, and then everybody decided, okay, that's enough. We'll come tell him next week.
It was a month ago that Dozier hit his most recent home run before the one he just hit, and that was in Pittsburgh. But now, you know, you guys who talk about hitting, you and Justin Morneau and Torrey Hunter, and what you just said tonight about Dozier, and when you've seen him and a lot of other hitters break out of a slump, get a hit, put the ball in play to the other side, and then that will open things up in the inner half, and that's exactly how the first 2 at-bats played out.
Yeah, exactly right. We see the exit velocity and all that advanced metrics stuff. What I saw, other than StatCast metrics, what I saw was a guy waiting long enough to see the pitch and letting his hands throw the big end of the bat to it finally, rather than trying to manufacture something to his pull field. He just reacted to the ball, and that's when hitters are swing the best.
And Kepler strikes out on a pitch up and away, 1 down. That'll bring us to Rosario. May 15th is Scrubs Night at Target Field. A limited number of Scrubs Night theme night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and Twins branded scrub pants. Go to twinsbaseball.com/scrubs to learn more about the Scrubs Night theme night offer. Here's Rosario, fouled out to end the first inning. His first time up. And an off-speed pitch floats over, strike one.
Going back to where Brian ought to hit in the lineup, it's difficult for Paul Molitor in this lineup because there really isn't, other than right now, other than Sano, who has to be either the third or fourth hitter in the lineup. I mean, he has to be. If he can't handle third or fourth in this lineup, Twins are in a world of hurt going forward in the future. I mean, Sano's got to be that guy, either one of those spots. Other than that, Joe Mauer at the top of the lineup, because of his .450 on base percentage, is kind of a given.
Cracked down the line, foul out of the reach of Abreu.
After that, nobody really fits the mold yet. The classic third hitter is the best hitter on your team, generally speaking, for average. Table setters 1 and 2, third hitter. You want not so much a big strikeout guy. You want a guy that hits a lot of. I mean, if he hits a lot of home runs, it's great, but you want a guy that's going to drive in a lot of runs, keep the inning going. For the fourth hitter, who's generally your home run guy.
And a liner. 2 down. Well, at the start of the year,
the Twins don't really have a guy who he's clearly the third hitter. If Sano's third, well, this guy's clearly the fourth hitter, and this guy's clearly the fifth. They've got a lot of guys that I think will grow into roles eventually where you can plug them in. So you say, where are we going to put Brian? Well, we're going to put Brian wherever we think he's going to put Brian. Paul Molitor is going to put Brian. I mean, Brian's always wanted to hit leadoff. That's where he likes to hit. But I like this move of Brian's. I think he's a great second hitter, maybe even better than first. Maybe someday he'll be a third hitter or a fifth hitter. But at this point, I think Paul just puts let me see what I think is going to be best where everybody's suited right now.
Escobar with a foul, 1 strike. It allows him to split at least 2 of the left-handed batters that are fixtures in the lineup, Mauer and Kepler. You know, at the start of the year, this was a left-handed lineup, even with Buxton and Sano, but now they're gone. And so you've got a left-handed hitting catcher, you've got 2 left-handed hitting outfielders, and a left-handed hitting first baseman, and if you stack them together, you're vulnerable. White Sox today added a third left-handed relief pitcher because they understand the Twins are heavily left-handed right now, and why wouldn't you want to have as many lefties? Here's a drive to right field. It is deep, and Escobar has hit another one. A 2-home-run game for Eduardo Escobar, and it's 4-2 Minnesota.
Where was that pitch?
Down and in, I believe.
It was thigh high down the middle, I think.
Where did he eat last night? He'll be eating there again tonight.
The Esky water is flowing freely in the clubhouse. Let's watch this pitch. He's trying to go high. Look at that. He's trying to go high, and watch the catcher's reaction. He's trying to go high. He throws a. No, watch the catcher. Oh, you got to be kidding me! It's not where we wanted it. He just keep throwing it in his happy zone. I'm telling you.
It's another way to maybe speed up the game. If your pitcher is going to throw the ball there to Escobar, just do like they do for an intentional walk. Put up 4,
put up 4,
only meaning 4 bases.
But you do get to trot, don't you? You don't have to just walk to the dugout.
Now the Twins with 4 unanswered runs, 3 home runs, and here is Morrison. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Morrison with a fly to right, his first time up.
But I like your point of going back to Brian Dozier. I like your point about him hitting it in between a couple of lefties. I think you have to hit him up in the order. Second, I think I've always thought Brian was a second place center.
1-1, and Morrison lifts it high.
Just missed that ball.
Garcia lost it. He's still going back, and that ball will go.
He didn't just miss it. He crushed it.
Morrison with the 3rd solo home run of the inning.
He hit it so high and up into the twilight that I looked at the center fielder, and the center fielder wasn't going back, and I thought, man, I thought he hit that ball well. He must have just gotten under it. Next time I saw the ball, it was landing 10 rows deep in the center field bleachers. Big strong man's getting hot. almost the exact same pitch that he hit for a home run last night. This one just a little bit further out over the plate, so we went with it.
Very high, and it just kept on going.
Boy, he crashed that ball, and what I love about that, it was a breaking ball, which means you could be, especially when you're slumping, out in front of it, which he has been. But he hit right back through the ball, right back through the trajectory the ball was coming at him, and hit it 400, close to 30 feet to center field. Beautiful swing, his best swing of the year, I think.
Fulmer coming into the game and giving up just 3 home runs. The Twins have hit 3 this inning and 4 in the game. Adrianza singled, went to second on a pass ball and scored on a Lamar hit. This one down the line, it's a foul ball and no play for Delmonico.
So watch this swing. As the ball comes up, it's out over the plate, it's starting to break down, and he comes right back into the ball, not around it, not trying to pull it. The big end of the bat going right back through the trajectory of that curveball. Really nice swing.
And now 2-1 to Adrianza. Fouled near the Twins dugout. Camera well. Audra over there someplace.
I hope she's protected over there.
Yeah, thumbs up. All right.
Okay, good. Oh, good. That's scary over there. I've been down there. That's scary.
I understand she at least made an effort for the ball, which is something Ethan didn't do last night.
Well, nor do I when I'm in the, if I'm ever in the camera well. So good for Audra. I just duck. I get out of the way.
And Adrianza strikes out to end the inning, but it was a good inning for the Twins. 3 solo home runs, and the Twins take a 5-2 lead.
Twins did some mashing.
Four home runs. Escobar has 2 of them. And we are an inning ahead of where we were last night, when in the 4th inning the Twins had a 3-run lead, or 4-run lead actually. Now it's a 3-run lead, but the point remains the same. The Twins need to lock this down, and Barrios needs to put a series of zeros together and see if the Twins can add on here. The game slipped away from them last night, and Barrios hoping to make sure it doesn't happen again tonight. Fouled back, and it's 1-1. Odorizzi last night after the game took full accountability for letting the White Sox back in the game, giving up a 2-run home run to Palka. Top of the order here, Moncada, Sanchez, and Abreu in the third. Popped up. Maybe playable for Escobar. And he makes an attempt. Got out of the warning track and then backpedaled, and the ball came out of the webbing of his glove.
Well, that's one of those situations that we talked about when the left-hander hits a high foul pop-up that direction. The spin on the ball will bring it back to the field. And here in Chicago, with the wind above the stands, it can really overspin. It can really bring the ball way back, and you really have to be careful about that. See, he overruns the ball, then as the ball spins back and is blown back with the wind, couldn't readjust.
1-2 now. See if Barrios can clean the bat up with a strikeout. He does. 1-away. You know how I first found that out? Of course, I didn't get a chance to see as a player a major league pop-up, but I caught my first foul ball at the ballpark in San Diego, Jack Murphy Stadium. Ryan Sandberg was a hitter, and he fouled the ball off, and I thought it would land about 15 rows behind me. I had decent seats, about 10 rows up, and even at that angle, it spun back so severely, and I actually caught the stupid thing.
Well, that's good. I'll tell you what. Ball, and you know how it was spinning, right? You felt it in your hand. That ball spinning like crazy. Good play.
Well, I have it in my trophy case. You know, when you don't have trophies, you got to be creative. Right?
Yeah.
I've got that. I've got a ball I caught last.
We just had a ball come in the press box yesterday. And I signed it. You could have. A signed Smalley ball could have been in your trophy case.
I'll get one of those later. Maybe.
Yeah, but this was a game-used baseball.
But I had,
supposedly those are important.
Hey, it's not. You know, I have a ball in my trophy case. Jock Jones hit it. It was the last Twins game at Tiger Stadium, and I always had a glove in the booth because you didn't experience it as a broadcaster, but certainly as a player, the booth, there's a ball hit down the right field line that doesn't have any hook on it. That will one-hop the fence, and Sanchez will round second on his way to third. Dozier's throw is not in time. It's a one-out triple. And Sanchez got a bunt single in the first, and he hooks one into the corner here in the third. Twins are going to take a look and see whether Sanchez overslid the bag.
He goes down and gets a pretty good breaking ball. Dozier makes a nice relay throw. It's bang, bang.
Ooh. Well, I think he got the right hand in with that little.
I think he did too. Now Escobar thinks he came off the bait, so he tags him there and he stays on him and just see if he'll come off the base. He stays on him right there.
Well, I don't know. Let's take a. Well, they're not going to challenge it. But how did he?
He must have stayed on.
He got the toe on just as the fingers were coming off. All right, so the White Sox had the same situation the Twins had in the first inning. Runner at third with one out. Abreu at the plate.
There. Pound inside. You have to impress this guy that you're coming in. Good hitters are all the same. If you don't impress them that you're coming inside, that they have to get the bat head out in front, you've got nothing to get them out with, because they'll look out over the plate, which makes them better against breaking balls. Yeah, just pound him in there.
Barrios has shown the ability to strike out Abreu, as we said before his two-run home run in the first. Abreu was 1 for 12 with 6 strikeouts. Infield back, Dozier will make the play. Sanchez scores. It's 5-3, and another run batted in for Abreu. Partial season ticket packages are now available in the Delta Sky 360 Club. Become a Twins season ticket holder today and become part of the Sweet Spot Rewards program. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com or by calling 800-33-TWINS. So another inning where a run is scored against Barrios. And now Nicky Delmonico with the bases empty and 2 down. Foul back, a strike.
So we're talking about pounding Abreu in. You see the target is in. Castro wants it in, and he leaves it out over the plate. And where does Abreu hit it? Right back through the middle. That's where he sets up to hit fastballs so that he won't be, so he's able to hit off-speed stuff that are strikes.
So we're going to miss 0-2.
And he just missed the spot, you know, and he got him out. That was the big thing. That's a good thing. He threw strikes and got him out.
Throughout the ball game last night, the White Sox kept coming back at the Twins and ended up winning in walk-off fashion. Now they've already got another run here in the third. It's 5-3. To Dozier. Excuse me, that's Adrianza swung over there, and that ends the inning. Sanchez with a triple, leading to another Chicago run.
By visitbuyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs.
Twins leading as we go to the fourth inning. They've hit 4 home runs in the ball game tonight. And Jason Castro will lead off the fourth against Carson Fulmer. Castro struck out his first time up.
Well, it certainly looks like this is going to be the kind of ball game where the Twins are going to win it. They're just going to have to keep slugging. They're starting to feel pretty good about themselves at the plate, as evidenced by the 4 home runs. They just have to keep it going, keep having good at bats, get the pitches that you want to swing at, and square them up.
It was a cool, damp night last night, and there were a couple of balls that we said at the time would have gone out and didn't, in part because of the cold weather. So far tonight, on a much more summer-like night, we've had 5 home runs and 2 triples.
The ball's jumping like it normally does in this ballpark in the summertime. It's beautiful out here.
Supposed to be nice tomorrow, and then another front rolling through Saturday night into Sunday morning. It's going to be cooler on Sunday.
I will tell you that all of us old ball players, hitters, you see the ball jumping like this, and you just want to have the bat. You want to run down there with the bat.
3-0 now to the leadoff man here in the fourth. James Rowson intently looking on. Castro not swinging it real good. Leading off the inning. Probably not green lighted here, I wouldn't think.
Nope.
70th pitch already for Fulmer. And he takes a 4-pitch walk. That'll bring up Ryan Lamar. Tonight's Coors Banquet timeless moment happened on this day in 1966. The Giants' Willie Mays became the all-time National League leader with his 512th home run, breaking Mel Ott's record set in 1946. And Mays now sits 5th all-time with 660 home runs. And one of 3 current members of the 3,000 hit 600 home run club. And Albert Pujols may do that tonight. He may be the 4th guy. And he had a couple of opportunities last night after doubling, getting 1 hit, but he didn't get it done at home. So if it happens this weekend, it'll happen in Seattle. 1 strike to Lamar. That's a lot of hits and a lot of home runs.
That's just a guy that can flat play the game.
Talked with Lance Lynn a little bit about Pujols today. Lynn, a teammate of Pujols in Albert's last year in St. Louis. And Lynn said, oh, he treated everybody right as long as you did your job and you were intent on, taking your craft seriously.
What a hitter he is, too. Good for him. He's about to get to 3,000.
Down and away, 2-1. Activity in the Chicago bullpen. One of their now 3 left-handed relievers, Aaron Bummer.
Brad Lamar has done a really nice job. I spent some time talking with him about what he's trying to do with the plate. He's turned his career around quite a bit, giving himself a chance to get. And he told me, he said, I just knew, especially coming to the Twins, I just wasn't going to have a chance to play every day. I had to come up with something that would enable me to play part-time and have a chance at the plate. So I had to figure out how to shorten my swing, be able to hit the ball all over the field, so that when I did get a chance to play, I wasn't helpless. I actually had a chance to be productive. And he changed his swing around, does drills, and got to a point where he really believes like he can be short to the ball, and even when he's not playing a lot, he's got a chance to get a base hit.
Back-to-back walks to start the 4th inning for Fulmer, and I can't believe Rick Renteria is going to watch much more of this. Here comes Don Cooper, the pitching coach. A former teammate of yours, right, Don Cooper?
Yep. The man had a real good curveball himself.
Two aboard. Mauer will hit. He's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. And of course, Joe had a little bit of a renaissance season last year, and he's picked that up again this year.
Well, he can get on the base. He just still takes tremendous at bats, time in and time out. Takes a lot of pitches, makes pitchers throw the ball where he wants to swing at it. Otherwise, he takes it. And even at this level, the pitchers can't throw it where they want to all the time. They're either throwing it down the middle to him or they're walking him. And getting on base at a 435 clip and playing Gold Glove first base. I mean, that's, how can you not hit him first or second in your lineup?
First time through the batting order, 9 of the 18 batters have reached. And Corey Blazer, the home plate umpire, got everyone's attention and held 2 fingers in the air, and I'm not sure why. First and second mound visit, I guess. Down and away, ball 1. One of the things the Twins did not do right last night was keep scoring after they had their lead. Now it's a 2-run lead.
And here's the kind of situation where last year they were so good. When they would turn a big inning, turn it into a big inning if the other team gave any kind of chance. This happened so much last year where Castro walks, Lamar doesn't swing at any bad pitches, he works out a walk, and you just put 2 guys on with free passes, and then the roof would fall in. Joe would get, last year Joe would get a hit, Brian would hit a double or a home run. We did get a parade of runs here when they try to give them to you. They haven't done that yet real well this year.
And truth be told, that was a characteristic of the team in the last 2 months of the season. They had their share of offensive droughts in the first 4 months, but they were among the league's best at cashing in August and September. Now 3-0 with Fulmer only throwing 1 strike in a dozen pitches. And Dozier on deck. He's already got 7 total bases. Three and 1.
Be interesting to see what Joe does here, and I really have no idea. He could take another one, or he could look for a ball and really try to drive it. I hope he does the latter.
At the knees, 3-2.
That was not the pitch. I think he was ready to swing. That was not the pitch he wanted. I think he was looking for a ball in where he could really drive it to right center or right field. Now he'll go back to the classic Joe approach, where he's going to wait a long time, watch the ball a long time, hit the ball from center field around the left, I would imagine.
Twins have taken 14 pitches this inning. And the 2 men aboard with walks. And now 3-2. Castro's the lead runner, so the runners won't be going here. And he got him. Fell behind 3-0 and ended up striking out Mauer, 1 away.
Surprising here. I would have bet an awful lot of money on Joe, and he chased the ball up and out of the strike zone. All kinds of things crazy with that. Joe striking out at all, and secondly, Joe chasing a pitch that probably was ball 4.
And Fulmer's still in the game because the Twins have split the left-handers, Mauer and Kepler. They'll leave Fulmer in to pitch to Dozier. This, depending on what happens, of course, but this might be the most important at bat of the game. Dozier already has a triple and a home run. And the Twins would like to cash in after the opening walks to Castro and Lamar. Strike called.
After throwing an awful lot of balls, I think 10 balls and 11 pitches, Fulmer has come back to make some good pitches. That particular one right there looked like he was on the verge of walking the ballpark, and then he breaks off a great curveball to Bryant. Gets himself right back ahead.
And strike 2 with another breaking ball. Fulmer walking the 8th and 9th place batters. Pitching his tail off here. The first couple batters, the 3rd time through the order. Nice take by Dozier, and it's 1-2. He's now 4 for 5 with 3 home runs against Carson Fulmer. Taken low, 2-2.
Good pitch by Fulmer there, just missed low.
That's a strike, isn't it?
Just, I think it's a little low. I really do. But he couldn't really gripe too much if it had been called strike 3. I mean, it was close. I think it was low, but it was awfully close.
2-2 to Dozier. Struck him out. 2 down. And now Kepler. And we may see Aaron Bummer. Here comes Rick Renteria.
I can't imagine that he would stay in there any longer against these lefties coming up.
So Bummer will face Kepler with the Twins up by 2, and the White Sox threatening to pitch out of this 4th inning jam with no runs scored. Well, Fulmer comes out here in the 4th inning, and Bummer will try to retire Kepler. Two out, and Aaron Bummer's been really good against left-handers, and Kepler is an improved hitter against left-handers, so this will be an interesting matchup. Bummer struck Kepler out last night, so Kepler will get his second look at Aaron Bummer.
You see the splits between left-handed hitters and right-handed hitters. He's got good stuff, but obviously particularly tough on left-handers. Here's a situation where, as a left-handed hitter, Max Kepler needs to decide, am I going to look for fastballs middle in and try to pull the ball, or am I going to just give up on the inside pitch and look away and hit everything the other way?
A pitch in the inner half and hooked it foul.
I think you have to decide how a pitcher is going to try to get you out, and if it's going to be 50-50 breaking balls and fastballs, then I think you have to look the ball out over the plate and try to hit the ball the other way, which will allow you to react to the breaking ball.
Liner into center field. Castro around third. He's being waved in. Throw to the plate is in plenty of time to get him. A perfect throw from Lurie Garcia on one hop. And the Twins may challenge it to see whether his foot got in. From up here, we got a pretty good look at it, and it's going to be closer than it should have been.
Terrific throw, right on the money.
No, he's out.
Yep.
Kepler gets the base hit. And it was a perfect throw by Garcia to throw out Castro at the plate. And they're going to take a look at it. Wow. From the first replay I saw, I thought that Castro was tagged high before the foot hit the plate. Let's take another look. I think he's out, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is too, but it's hard to tell. Narvaez's foot was in the way of Castro's foot there, so you can't really tell when he got to the plate. What I saw is I thought he might be safe, but it wasn't going to be conclusive enough.
See if we can find a more encouraging angle.
Yeah, let's keep showing. Let's just keep doing it until we like it.
And the play has been reviewed. The Twins lose their challenge, and just the little blocking of the plate by the foot, which he can't do because he possessed the baseball, may have been the one thing that kept the run from scoring. out at home plate. Be kind of a deflating experience for you. You've got a 2-run lead, but you lose a runner at the plate. Now the onus is on Berríos to not give the White Sox any room to breathe here. And there is strike one. He has been scored upon in 9 of his last 10 innings. Davidson, Palka, and Garcia will hit in the 4th. 1-1. The White Sox are 9-20. It's their worst 29-game start since the 1978 season. And as you and I reminisced about that, those were the White Sox of Harry Chappis. And was Eric Soderholm part of that?
He was there in '77. I don't remember if he might have been there in '78 as well. I think he was. But Ralph Garr was out there.
Ralph Garr. Chester Lemon.
Chet Lemon was.
2-2 to Davidson. Big pop-up, it'll reach the seats. Davidson singled sharply to center. Just the second time he's put the ball in play against Berríos in 10 at-bats. Back up the middle. Dozier gathers it in. 1 down. A lot of long balls here tonight as we get caught up.
Hanging breaking ball to Abreu in the 1st inning. Deposits it way back in the left center field seats, and the White Sox were up 2-0. But in the 3rd inning, Brian Dozier, big sigh of relief for Brian. Had to hit a home run in a month. He crashes one to left. Eduardo Escobar gets a fastball in the middle of the plate that he hits out. Actually, then Logan Morrison.
Foul back, out of play, 1 strike.
Let's go with 2 home runs, actually. The first one he hit that was a breaking ball and hitting a fastball. He's hit everything that Fulmer has.
0-2 to Palka.
There's a good pitch from Berríos right there. A little change up. Generally speaking, right-handed pitchers will be fastball change-up to left-handers and fastball curveball or slider to right-handers.
1-2. With the success teams have had against Berríos recently, chopped up the line. Mauer will have a play to the bag, 2 away. And before Garcia's at bat this summer, the World Cup is coming to Fox and Fox Sports 1. Every match live and over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event begins June 14th on Fox and FS1. Just as a baseball observer, I'm wondering at what point they might not, Garvin Alston, Berríos, might not look at video to see whether Berríos might be tipping his pitches. This guy's got wipeout stuff, and for good part of his first 4 starts, hardly anybody made solid contact against him, but he has given up some solid contact, as the run production would attest. So I wonder whether they might not be looking to see whether there's something he's doing to tip his pitches.
The one thing that they might, but I'm going to doubt that he is, just because the pitches that the hitters are hitting are in the middle of the plate.
Okay.
For the most part, hanging curveballs, fastballs in a good spot to hit. And secondly, if you were tipping the pitches, they wouldn't be way out in front of those change-ups that Palka just was. They wouldn't be getting buried inside on fastballs.
That's it well to left. Rosario back at the wall, and it's gone. It's 5-4. Leury Garcia, who just came up with a very strong and accurate throw to cut down Castro, has gone opposite field against Berríos. And Berríos has given up runs now in 10 of 11 innings.
So there we are. I mean, that's I don't think he's tipping pitches. I think he's throwing the ball down the middle a lot.
Now Tim Anderson. Only in the second inning did Barrios keep the White Sox from scoring. Strike one on a foul over the Twins dugout. And just off the outside corner. It was 5-2. Now it's 5-4. Tap to third, 2 hops. And Escobar rifles his throw across the diamond, and that ends the 4th inning. Buckle up. It's a hitter's night here in Chicago. Pepsi fans of the game, Twins fans here, hoping the Twins can win a ball game. They had a 5-2 lead. Now it's 5-4. Balls are flying out of here like they're titleists. Rosario, Escobar, and Morrison in the Twins' 5th against Aaron Bummer. And on the first pitch, Rosario spanks a single to right. Twins had a chance to add. Now Rosario heading to second base, and he is safe on a misplay in the middle infield. And Rosario taking the extra base, trying to get a little momentum going in the Twins dugout. And they're all clapping and high-fiving from a distance. Eddie Rosario. They give him a double.
First of all, very good short compact swing against the left-hander by left-hand hitting Rosario, and then he decides just to go ahead. He's going to lob the ball in. I'm going to take another base, and the White Sox mess it up out there in the middle infield, and it turns out to be a heads-up play by Rosario with no out, getting to second base.
As a left-handed batter, Escobar has 2 home runs. Now he'll swing over from the right side. Twins had a chance to score on the 4th and didn't. And now it's a 1-run game. They got to take advantage of this hustle double by Rosario inside, and Rosario fainted toward third base.
This will be one of those situations I'm fairly confident that Paul Molitor has no intention of wanting Escobar necessarily just to move the runner over.
No, not on a night like tonight.
This is big inning baseball here. It's going to be trade places with him. Let's string 6 doubles together.
Missing inside, 2-1. faced inside. Last year, both Eddie Rosario and Byron Buxton hit 3 home runs in a game. Year before that, Max Kepler and Brian Dozier did it. Here, a single to center would look awfully big. And Rosario distracting Bummer, who has not retired either of the left-handed batters he's faced. Kepler touched him for a solid single, and Rosario jumped on the first pitch and ended up with a double. 2-2. And Escobar thought about third base again. He's at second base, Rosario is, but he didn't want to stay there. He's looking for every opportunity to move up 90 feet.
We've seen Narvaez box up some pitches with his glove, but that was a terrific block of that ball.
Full count to Escobar. Morrison will hit next. Sharply hit into right center field, and Rosario will score. Escobar is going to try for 2 himself, and he is in with a double. He's got 10 total bases in his first 3 at-bats.
Beautiful 2-strike, 3-2 swing. As Justin Morneau and I have talked for 3 games at home against Toronto, 3-2 count is no longer a fastball count necessarily. You never know what you might get. Bummer threw him a pretty decent curveball, but Eduardo Escobar not trying to get out in front of it, not trying to pull it. Much like Morrison's home run, back through the ball to center field on that curveball. He went right back through the trajectory of the ball and drilled it into center field to drive in a big run.
And now chopped up the middle. Morrison is retired, and Escobar moves to third. And that'll bring up Adrianza. The Twins 3 for 4 against Aaron Bummer. Adrianza 1 for 2, and the White Sox will shorten up the infield.
Here's one of those at-bats. We're not going to put this all on Adrianza because he's not the only guy that has been up here and not succeeded. But this is going to be a big at-bat in the game. Twins not playing well. Adrianza thought that ball was inside. I think he's right. Twins have not been playing well. They're not winning ball games. Trying desperately to win this game here, and every run tonight's going to count. And now they're getting a relative gift. You don't have to get a run with a hit.
Checked his swing 1-1. Had this situation in the first inning after Dozier's triple. Kepler grounded out sharply, but to Abreu, and then Rosario popped up. They never got that runner in from third with less than 2 out.
Right. Need this one.
Squeeze play, and hung out to dry is Escobar. The pitch down and in, and Adrianza couldn't put it in play. Not the safety squeeze, the suicide squeeze.
That was a suicide squeeze, and of all the pitches to throw, Paul trying to pick a time where he'd throw him a decent pitch, and it was just a nasty pitch to try to bunt there.
And how did Narvaez even control it? The pitch looked like it might have been in the dirt. So the Twins have 1. Now the bases are empty and 2 down. The Twins ended the inning in the 4th, getting Castro thrown out at the plate, and now they try to put a suicide squeeze on. And another pitch in the dirt. And it's 2-2. Twins out hitting the White Sox 10-5. And fouled into the seats. extremely tough pitch to try to bunt, squeeze. They'll try to extend the inning here. And bummers all over the place. Landed 3 feet in front of the plate. Castro's on deck.
Paul Molitor trying to pick, as I mentioned, started to say, Paul Molitor trying to pick out a count and a pitch where he's pretty sure that he's going to have the pitcher deliver us a ball in the strike zone.
Even if it's not a fastball,
it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. When you're up there in a suicide squeeze situation, you know all you have to do is contact the ball, just get the ball down. And I mean, one of those. So we look at Chris Volstead warming up in the pen for the Sox, but you don't expect to get a pitch like that that is that ugly.
And Narvaez has had more than a share of difficulty behind the plate, but that one he was able to, if not catch, at least keep the ball around him and pick it up and then run Escobar back toward third. Full count to Adrianza. Again, Castro is on deck. And he came inside and got a strikeout on a fastball. A couple of doubles. Twins get a run back and now lead by 2.
Heading into the bottom of the 5th inning, Logan Morrison and Jake Odorizzi spent a few hours this morning at a local hospital visiting their former teammate Danny Farquhar, who's been recovering from that ruptured aneurysm. They both said they were blown away at the progress he's made in just a few weeks since that really scary situation. They said he's in great spirits, up and about, walking around, and they said he even joked about being annoyed that the White Sox transferred him to the 60-day DL a few days ago. And Jake Odorizzi went on to say that it really puts things in perspective, great reminder to really value each day. And he said if he can be as positive and optimistic as he is after what he went through, then we should be able to stay positive through a tough stretch of baseball. It just reminds you how precious every day in life really is. And he said it was a really special moment for the two of them to visit their former teammate. All in all, great news to hear that he is making a recovery, guys.
Yeah, Danny Farquhar is a very lucky man, and we are just thrilled that he is recovered as well as he has. 2 strikes to Narvaez, leading off the Chicago 5th. To center, retreating is Lamar, and he is there for the catch, 1 away. Big inning for Jose Barrios, who's had a hard time putting up zeros. White Sox getting 2 in the first, scoreless second, but then another run in the third, another run in the fourth, and now the lead is back to 2. Yoan Moncada with a fly ball to left and a strikeout. Just 2 strikeouts for Berrios in the game tonight. Side ball 1. In his start against the Yankees, short as it was, 4 innings, he still struck out 7. In his start against the Reds, he didn't strike anybody out in 3 innings and has just 2 strikeouts here tonight. Two and 0 now to the leadoff batter for the White Sox. Pulled foul.
I will say one thing about Berrios' pitches. The fastball's not moving. Doesn't seem quite as lively as we've seen him in the past. When the ball, think about the Baltimore Orioles game early in the season, even the Yankee game when he didn't pitch as well, the ball was moving a lot. He's throwing a lot of straight fastballs.
3-1. Paul Molitor was talking about trying to work in his bullpen session, getting north and south instead of this side-to-side motion that Berrios has had. He's had a hard time, in Paul's mind, missing right there. The arm side fastball tailing off the plate, and that's been one constant issue for Berrios in his last few starts, and it's a 1-out walk here in the 5th. Are you game for a little excitement? Head to foxsportsnorth.com and submit a photo and message for the opportunity to be featured in the Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle during our broadcast and receive $100 in scratch tickets with the Minnesota Lottery. Every day is game day. What we just saw for ball 4 is what Paul and Garvin Alston have identified as a problem for Berrios in his recent starts. Lack of command of the fastball and have it tailing off the plate outside to a left-handed batter. Now he misses inside. Now, all that said, that's the first walk issued by Berrios, but it comes with 1 out in the 5th, and now Sanchez, who has 2 hits and 2 runs scored against Berrios, is at the plate representing the tying run.
And what the north and south you're talking about means the opposite, obviously, of east and west. That just means you're coming open early, and that pitch outside or the pulling the ball inside is the result of your front side opening a little bit early, and your arm either drags and you throw it outside to a left-hander, or you bring it with you. Your arm follows that shoulder opening up, and you pull it inside with a left-hander. It's a good changeup there. Actually, his changeup's been his best pitch tonight to left-handers.
And close at first. Yankees have taken a 6-5 lead over the Indians going to the top of the 9th at Yankee Stadium. Runner goes. Pitch lifted to right center field. Playable for Lamar, who makes the catch and fires it back in. Lamar making the catch because he's a left-handed thrower, and it was easier for him to get the ball back in quickly. 2 down.
Well, that's the pitch that Abreu hit out in the first inning, a hanging breaking ball. He makes a living on that pitch right there. This big situation. He's driven in 3 runs, a 2-run home run, and then a hard ground ball up the middle that Brian Dozier was standing in front of for a ground ball out.
Now it appears Moncada is going to need some medical attention. He did not play yesterday because of a hamstring issue, and he took off on the pitch, slammed on the brakes short of second base, and then hustled back, but he appears to be not 100%. And a look into the dugout, and they're going to make a change. Again, Moncada missed just 1 game with a hamstring, and a rather unenthused trip back to first base. He's got to come out of the ball game. And for the White Sox, it'll be Adam Engel. Pinch running here in the 5th. Well, tough break for Moncada, hoping that just missing a game or two would allow him to be healthy, but something is amiss with the White Sox talented second baseman. 2 down, and now Abreu, who, as Roy mentioned, has driven in 3 of the 4 Chicago runs.
You got to make pitches here to keep him in the ballpark. And, obviously, you're going to throw a breaking ball. It's got to be down and away.
And a foul back.
There's the good one. There's the good one. He needs to trade off, alternate this breaking ball with those running fastballs in. You see the late break.
Regarding tipping your pitches, hitter could know that's coming and still not do much with it, right?
Right, right. Now come back. Now come in hard with the fastball. Nope. Dangerous pitch right there. Abreu just missed it. You really can't pitch him in the middle of the strike zone. Low to high. He's in the middle of the plate. He's deadly.
Barrios gets ahead of Abreu, 0-2.
You can say, well, that ball is down. That's a good pitch, and it is for the most part against a lot of here. Not this guy. This guy's got to be on the corners. Fastballs in, breaking balls away.
And another foul ball on a fastball. Pitch count is decent, just 78 thrown, and Barrios hoping number 79 will wrap up the 5th inning.
This guy's approach a lot like Miguel Cabrera. He's got a very strong lower body. He stays inside his legs very well, stays very, very balanced inside of the back leg against the inside of the front leg, and waits a long time, tries to hit it to right field. You're not going to fool him in the middle of the plate. What he understands about hitting is you might be able to get me out inside with a fastball, but you better be able to make it way in there. If you leave it over the plate, I'm going to hit it. You might be able to get me out with a breaking ball outside, but if you leave it over the plate, I'm going to hit it. He just doesn't miss mistakes.
Mauer can't flag it down, and it bleeds into right field for a base hit. Engel to third base.
Well, there's nothing you can do about that. Big, strong guy. I mean, you can see his approach with 2 strikes. He just will not give in and say, I'm going to pull the fastball. I'm going to worry about the fastball in. He just will not. Muscles that ball to right field. Jose Barrios beat it. Yeah, yep. You beat me there. And he did. Barrios beat him. High fastball running in on him. Just look at that swing. I mean, it's almost like a bunt. Just fight it off. He's so strong, and he's so willing to wait a long time. Push that ball through in the middle to the right side with 2 strikes.
Now Delmonico will bat. He's 0 for 2 against Barrios. And this is pitch number 80 with the tying run aboard. Up and away, ball 1. A 1-out walk, a 2-out check swing single. And the White Sox are in business again here in the 5th. (2-0). No activity in the Twins' pen. Barrios is going to try to find a way to fight his way out of this jam. (2-0) to Delmonico. 3-0. Davidson on deck.
Delmonico actually doing a pretty good job. Delmonico, kind of a classic left-hand hitter, wants the ball down. Barrios and Castro know that, trying to stay up in the strike zone, but they've missed up and away and up and in. Dangerous right here. Dangerous counts coming up.
And a 4-pitch walk loads them up for Matt Davidson, the team leader in home runs. And here comes Garvin Alston to talk to Barrios. Davidson with a terrible history against Barrios, but he has put the ball in play twice. Davidson now 1 for 11 with 8 strikeouts against Barrios. Now the Twins firing up the bullpen. Matt McGill warming up. It was a big game for Davidson. We were somewhat joking about his futility against Barrios, but Davidson figures to be a piece that the White Sox are going to build around. Barrios is going to be in the Twins rotation, they hope, for a lot of years. There's going to be a lot of matchups between these two over the years, and Davidson's got to try to figure out Barrios. He's put it in play twice, and now Barrios and Davidson in a showdown here with the Twins up by 2. Strike 1.
Very important call you made right there. Strike 1. Good fastball on the outside part of the plate. This guy is a notorious middle of the zone hitter as well.
Smothered by Castro, 1-1.
Those are pitches right there that Jose Barrios is used to guys chasing a lot. Davidson did a good job to lay off of that. I really think that, again, same as Abreu, you have to show him the ball inside to make that outside pitch effective, but you can't miss over the plate, so it's a delicate proposition.
There's the outside corner at 95. So it's been fastball, curve, fastball.
Yeah, when the hitters stand, I think he was expecting a curveball right there. Davidson had curveball in his mind right there. I think he's got him set up for either pitch now. I think staying away from him.
One and 2. Fouled away. So the sequence has gone fastball, curve, fastball, fastball.
Tried to go up the ladder there to get him a chase. We saw him get on top of a fastball from Odorizzi last night. Actually, pretty impressive swing. Davidson not known to be a high ball hitter necessarily. He's got a pitch to play with here, either a fastball in or the curveball on the outside part of the plate.
Oh. Chopper to third. Short hop for Escobar, and he makes the play.
Very nice play.
That ball skipped, and Escobar stayed with it, and Barrios pitches out of it, leaving the bases full.
Hats off for heroes, because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
And the Twins leading by a couple here. We're just going into the 6th inning. Chris Volstead will be the pitcher for the Chicago White Sox.
Chris Volstead, big, tall right-hander. You see the stats there. Didn't start out pitching well this year. He's pitched a little bit better the last couple outings.
And Jason Castro will be the first man he faces. Adam Engels in center, and Lurie Garcia comes in to play second base for the injured Moncada. Castro struck out in the 2nd, walked, and was thrown out at the plate eventually to end the 4th inning. Twins didn't score in the 4th. They got 1 run in the 5th, but they could have done a lot more damage in both innings. And a failed suicide squeeze attempt, 1 strike to Castro. And now a ball. On the ground, couple of hops to the shortstop Anderson. And Ryu with some funny footwork, but he kept a foot on the bag, 1 down. May 22nd is Star Wars Night at Target Field. A limited number of Star Wars Night theme night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and a Joe Solo bobblehead. Go to twinsbaseball.com/Star Wars to learn more about the Star Wars Night theme night offer. This is Star Wars Night at a lot of ballparks here because it is May 4th. It took me about 3 years to figure out the significance of that because I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but May the 4th be with you. So you didn't know that either?
No.
Here's Lamar.
No, I didn't realize that.
Up the middle off the glove to the shortstop Anderson, who comes up firing and got him. Big break for the White Sox. Volstead getting enough of that to deflect it to Anderson, who was able to reverse field to make the play.
Tough luck for Lamar. Another good at bat for Ryan. Hits the ball off the pitcher. Now watch the play that Anderson makes. He sets before the ball gets there, sets into a throwing position. So as soon as he grabs it, he can throw it first and get the speedy Lamar. Good play by the shortstop. Unlucky for Ryan.
2 down, base is empty. Twins haven't been set down in order yet in the ball game. And Mauer will hit 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Strike on the outside corner.
Volstead's a big guy. Doesn't really throw real hard for as big as he is, but he's got some pretty good movement on that fastball.
Strike 2 on the outside corner. Joe hasn't really embraced the leadoff spot statistically like the Twins would have hoped. Just a handful of at-bats, of course, but right to the shortstop Anderson. 3 ground ball outs for Volstead. The Twins go quickly in the 6th.
Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities.
Beautiful view of a beautiful city, downtown Chicago. Twins leading by 2. And Barrios, who wobbled a little bit with his control in the 5th, will start the 6th. Daniel Palka, first man he'll face. And there's a pitch inside, ball 1. See the pitch count. It will reappear shortly. This will be his 90th. Pitch count hasn't been an issue for Barrios, just ineffectiveness. In his last start against the Reds, he only threw 60 pitches. Start before that, 93. In fact, only once this year has he thrown 100 pitches, and that was in his very first start in Baltimore when he shut out the Orioles. 2-0. Lifted to short right field. Dozier out. Kepler in. And Dozier makes the play and a big first out in the 6th. Sanford Health injury report. The Dodgers had such a charmed season last year with a horseshoe in their back pocket seemingly all year long, and now one injury after another. He'll be out until after the All-Star break. The Dodgers have struggled. Twins know full well about what a charmed season it was for the Dodgers last year. They were very good, but so many walk-off wins.
Yeah, everything broke very well for the Dodgers last year, no question about it.
Here is Garcia. Hit a rare home run, and he hit it to the opposite field in the 4th inning against Barrios.
Well, he'd never hit more than, I think, 5 or 6 home runs in his career, including the minor leagues, and hit 9 last year, 5 of them here in this launching pad. But as of last year, he has developed a little bit of pop. I remember a breaking ball that he hit out to right field here against the Twins. Now he's taking a fastball the other way. The ball's really carrying away.
2 strikes. And now a fly to left. Rosario retreats, calling for it. 2 down. I don't know that there was much of a debate internally about sending Barrios out for the 6th, but you have to like the decision to put him out there. The pitch count's okay. The Twins are going to be counting on this guy to give them 6, 7 innings every time out. Hildenberger is getting loose.
And this will be his last inning, almost certain. Saw Eddie Guardado out there, the bullpen coach, a terrific Twins Hall of Famer and closer, and Eddie out there doing a great job with the guys out in the bullpen. He just raised his hat off of his head as a signal that Hildenberger is ready. So if they're asking whether or not the pitcher's ready, then this is as far as that Barrios is going to go. There's Eddie.
Swinging a foul. A piece of Castro, 1-1. No foul. Just made a move to bring up Chase Fry.
Well, there was no doubt in my mind there was going to be a left-hander come in next inning for the White Sox with the Kepler, Rosario, Escobar, Morrison parade coming.
I don't see Barrios do that very often. They hooked the breaking ball well in front of the plate, 2-2.
We actually don't see Anderson let too many of them go by, no matter where they are.
Right. That's to left. And it's hit almost directly to Rosario, and a good 6th inning for Jose Barrios, his first 1-2-3 inning since the 2nd. Twins up a couple.
Jose Abreu got it going for the Sox. First inning, gets a hanging breaking ball from Barrios and puts it in the left center field seats. But in the third inning, after Escobar had homered in the second inning, Brian Dozier would go deep. Esco would hit his second one, following Dozier, and then Logan Morrison with a bomb to center field. 3 home runs in that inning. White Sox would come back. It would be 5-4, but Escobar with another really good at bat, hustling double with an RBI, gets us to where we are now, 6-4.
And Brian Dozier hitting second tonight, leading off an inning for the second time tonight. Dozier with a triple and a home run, and he takes ball 1 from Volstad. Cracked down the line, but foul. It will be Dozier, Kepler, and Rosario, and if somebody reaches or scores, Escobar.
And I suspect that Volstad was left in to pitch to the right-hander Dozier, right-hander against right-hander, and then we'll see the left-hander out of the bullpen. Be my guess.
1-1. And Bryant squared to bunt with Sanchez playing 2/3 of the way back on the dirt of the infield.
Yeah, that's a nice idea. That's a really good idea. Bryant just couldn't execute it. He's looking for a fastball to bunt there, and Volstad threw him a big slow breaking ball, and Bryant couldn't quite get it down. But he had a base hit if he could have gotten it down. You see how deep he was playing, almost that deep. Sanchez, the third baseman, almost that deep when Bryant tried to bunt.
Narvaez is able to knock that ball down. 2-2. Sox relievers have retired 5 straight batters. Kepler will hope to hit with Dozier aboard. Line and off the glove of Anderson. It should be a hit on a wicked smash. Dozier with a big turn. He'll hold up with a single. So the leadoff man is on for Kepler, and we anticipate a pitching change here. Rick Renteria coming out, and he'll bring Fry in to face a couple of left-handed batters.
Good at bat there by Bryant. He's had 3 very good at bats. Triple down the right field line. He crashed a home run and now got that base hit off the shortstop's glove. Hit this ball hard.
And he's just a double away from the cycle, and very likely will have one more opportunity tonight to get that double. In the 4th inning, and then Castro was thrown out. But as we introduce you to Jace Fry, Kepler not only has 8 hits and 22 at bats against left-handers, they have been bullets. There's not a flare among them. And now Kepler squares and takes ball 1. Where did that pitch miss? He hit 176 against lefties over the last 3 years, and this year so far, he's hitting 364. And now ball 2.
It's a great take right there. How many times last year did we see Max swing at that ball, especially with a 1-0 count, kind of looking fastball, and jump out there on the fastball and it not be a fastball? He'd swing at that ball right there. Watch him follow that ball with his eyes.
Chop to the right side. They'll get the lead runner and they'll relay to first not in time. So Kepler reaches on a fielder's choice, and that'll bring Rosario to the plate. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. One way or the other, after we're done here, if he hasn't already gotten his 3,000th hit, I'll through my MLB.tv subscription, or maybe the game will be shown in the hotel. I want to see if Albert Pujols gets his 3,000th hit. He lined out in his first plate appearance tonight. Rosario has hit the ball hard twice in his last 2 at-bats. And now 0-2.
Eddie pretty good against left-hand hitters himself. He's a very good mistake hitter against left-handers. Fastballs from the middle in, hanging breaking balls. He hangs in there really well. You can get him out. Left-handers can get him out like most left-handers can get out most left-hand hitters on pretty good occasion. But Eddie hangs in there well, and if you throw him a mistake, he will handle it.
2 strikes to Rosario. And 3 strikes.
Good breaking ball there. That ball has to have a lot of movement. Of course, Eddie's not seen Fry before, but that was a ball that stayed in the middle of the plate that I think Eddie thought he should have hit, could have hit. In pretty good position. He just a little out in front. The ball slower than the breaking balls he's seen. The breaking ball he saw earlier.
Replay brought to you by Carrier. Yankees just walked off the Indians 7-6 at Yankee Stadium, and now here's Escobar. Now, I think you know the answer to this. You should know the answer to this. Escobar's got 10 total bases. Do you know who holds the record for total bases in a game by a Twin? It was not you.
Really? Let's see, what would be my second guess?
You were there.
Oh, well, it was Kirby.
14 total bases in Milwaukee at County Stadium. 2 home runs and 3 doubles. That's a pretty good day at the plate after going 4 for 5 the night before. To the backstop, and Kepler will go to second.
And what you don't understand, yes, it's a pretty good day at the plate. 2 home runs and 3 doubles. But you add to that the situation that he was in, that we were in that game, and the situations that he kept coming up and delivering those extra base hits. It was maybe the most amazing single day performance I've ever seen.
2-0 now to Escobar. What is forgotten about that game, as destructive as he was at the plate, he maybe saved the game in center field. He took a grand slam away from Robin Yount, and 2 runs scored on the fly ball to center field. Kirby robbed him of a home run. And now Escobar fills first base, and that'll bring up Morrison. That almost looked like an unintentional intentional walk. First and second, 2 down, and now Morrison. Morrison 2 for 15 against left-handers. A couple of singles. Breaking ball on the outside corner. Morrison 1 for 3, crushed a home run to center field back in the third. That gets away from Narvaez, and Kepler wisely decides not to try to advance.
We talked about Morrison in the open of the show, how he's swinging the bat better. I got a text after Logan hit that bomb of a home run to center field from Justin Morneau, our broadcast booth mate this past 3 games. He said, it looks to me like Morrison's open to stance up.
And now the runners will advance, and my goodness, Fry is dangerously wild here.
I had not noticed that that Morrison had done that, and if so, if he had opened his stance up, Justin thought he'd seen it. You see the pitch here. Oh, little chin music.
Well,
and so when I talking to our truck, talking to our producer, saying what Justin said, she said, "Oh yeah, he told Audra Martin that a couple of days ago." So.
Morrison lunges across the plate, taps out weakly to strand 2 runners in the 7th. He hopes to even his record at 3-3, and now to the bullpen. Zach Duke's been really good lately, and he's asked to get the 3 outs needed here in the 7th inning. Duke had a tough time in the first week and a half of the season. I talked with him yesterday about that, and he said it was just tough for him physically because, remember, he came back from Tommy John surgery last year, and he said just the wear and tear, the grind that pitchers go through in spring training, his body was not accustomed to that because he missed out on that last year. But he's really been pitching well, and he feels really good right now. So we'll see if he can have a good 7th inning. Narvaez will bat.
We talked about pitch selection and location. He's been excellent with both. A lot of games now in a row. A lot of appearances.
Fastball taken for strike 1. That's hit to center field, and Lamar retreats. Plenty of range out there. He makes the catch, 1 away.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Minnesota Twins, LLC.
For parts of a couple of years, Duke pitched here for the White Sox, 2015, 2016, then dealt to the Cardinals. 1 down, and now Adam Engel, his first plate appearance after pinch running for Moncada, who left with hamstring tightness. Chop to the right side. Dozier almost has it leak out the webbing of his glove, but a couple of quick outs here in the 7th.
He ain't gonna get down that line, Kenny.
So you tend to forget that a year ago, Duke was still rehabbing from Tommy John surgery, and that he came back as quickly as he did to pitch in 27 games for the Cardinals was really remarkable. And so now he feels like he's in mid-season form. 2 down very quickly, and now Sanchez will bat. Ball 1. Quick bookkeeping thing, man. I have to correct myself. Well, Kirby got 14 total bases. It was 2 singles, 2 doubles, and 2 home runs. It was a 6-for-6 ball game, and it was 4-for-5 the night before. At the knees, 1-1.
Kirby would give us a lead that day, and we'd give it back, and he'd give us another lead, and we'd give it back. He did it 6 times.
That's kind of the way the season went for you guys. There were a lot of runs scored for both sides in the 1987 season, except when Viola and Blyleven pitched. And Presley getting loose in the pen. On the outside corner, 2-2. Such a big man to get, not only to wrap up the 7th, but Abreu's on deck. If Sanchez reaches, then Abreu will hit as the tying run and might precipitate a pitching change.
I would think so.
That is a fair ball right over the bag, and it will be a single with a quick retrieve by Kepler. Well, the White Sox have had some curious hits here. Counting Abreu's in the 5th, that ball just hacked right up the baseline. And here comes Ryan Presley.
Ball in the outside corner, just a 2-strike protection swing. Slash down the right field line.
And so Duke gets the first 2 men, gives up a 2-out single, and it'll be Presley against Abreu when we come back. Presley's been really good this year, and a really good ERA, and he's got a tough assignment here in trying to get Jose Abreu.
Well, he's got the kind of stuff as anybody's going to get this big man, great hitter Jose Abreu out in a tough situation here. It's Presley's stuff.
Abreu represents the tying run.
Again, it's the middle of the strike zone. You stay with Presley's stuff anywhere but middle of the strike zone, and he can handle this guy.
Breaking ball outside, ball 1. His 7th home run came against Barrios with a man aboard in the 1st inning. Big swing and a miss. Power against power. And that battle was won by Presley.
Up there in that part of the zone, pretty good with 95. It sets up his breaking ball as well. You see the ball up there around your eyes. And then that overhand curveball is even tougher to hit. Followed up with another he's a high fastball, straight over the top curveball pitcher.
Popped up back and out of play. 96. Is it my imagination? I know you've done a number of games. You've watched most of the others. Are we seeing Presley's intermediate breaking ball more often the slider rather than the curve? The pitch that's in the upper 80s, low 90s, the breaking ball?
Yeah, I think he's throwing. I think he's throwing both of them. I really, especially here against Abreu, I really like the curveball more than the slider.
1-2 to Abreu.
Fastball away.
Chop left side toward the hole. And Dozier has the ball, get by him. Mauer's got to try to flag it down, and there'll be runners at 2nd and 3rd. Adrianza making a throw he probably shouldn't have made, and now the White Sox have the tying run at 2nd with 2 away. A hit for Abreu and an error charged, I'm guessing, to Adrianza.
That's a ball right there. You just have to stick in your pocket. There's no play to be made. He actually beats him with a fastball, but so strong, he's able to pound the ball into the ground in a good spot. And Adrianza needs to just hold on to that one.
Sanchez was already at 2nd base by the time the ball intersected with Dozier, and now Delmonico. Couple of hits and an error. Presley misses outside, ball 1.
I don't know. Pretty good pitch right there.
Delmonico 0 for 2 with a walk. Big swing and a miss.
Good fastball right there. Again, up in the zone. Delmonico especially. Left-handed low ball hitter, kind of classic, as I mentioned before, low ball hitter. That pitch right there will get him out. That fastball. Low fastball, he's dangerous. Higher fastball, I think Presley wins the battle.
Dug out by Castro, 2-1
right there.
And a good take by Delmonico. Twins know all about Delmonico's power. It was his home run that sent the Twins into the wild card game. Remember the scene with the Twins in Cleveland in the clubhouse, extra inning game, and finally Delmonico ended it with a home run. 2-1. Three and 1 with Matt Davidson on deck. White Sox left the bases full in the 5th. Now Presley trying to strand 2 more in scoring position here in the 7th. And a walk fills the bases. And a trip to the mound by at least Castro, and now here comes Garvin Alston as well.
Well, he's tried to stay up in the zone against Delmonico, and the problem is he didn't get the first call, and then he couldn't get back in the strike zone with it. The danger of trying to pitch up is that if you leave it down, it belt high, then or lower, Delmonico is pretty good. If you don't get in that high strike area and the umpire doesn't call it, then you end up walking.
Davidson with a sharp single to center in the 1st and a couple of ground balls. It was Davidson who grounded out to Escobar to leave the bases full in the 5th. That was against Barrios. Now he'll face Presley. Swing and a miss. Chasing the high heat. And just getting ahead of Davidson.
Presley likes his fastball tonight. He likes the way it's coming out of his hand. I was surprised he didn't go to the breaking ball when he had 2 strikes on Abreu. He's throwing an awful lot of fastballs. He likes the way it feels tonight.
95 and 96 both swung on and missed.
And 96 on the upper outside corner of the strike zone. Nasty pitch. We saw Davidson hit that same pitch right there location-wise off Odorizzi last night, but this one about 5 miles an hour faster.
0-2 to Davidson. Half swing, but he went.
Yep.
And a great finish to the inning for Ryan Presley, as for the 2nd time in the last 3 innings, the White Sox don't score and leave the bases full. Stuff gets hitters out, whether you're a reliever or a starter. Ryan Presley's always had stuff, but now things are coming together for him rather nicely. And he did a wonderful job finishing off the White Sox in the bottom of the 7th inning. And now Joaquin Soria delivering ball 1 to A-Ray Adrianza. Two and 0.
What I like about Presley is that he's realizing that he's got a good fastball, and up in the strike zone it's even better. It plays 2, 3, 4 miles an hour fastball faster than what the gun is showing, I think, up there in these hitters today.
Fouled into the seats, and it's 2-1. Adrianza with a single and 2 strikeouts tonight. Side 3-1. Each team has issued 3 walks.
See if A-Ray can be disciplined here and get a ball exactly where he wants it, right in the middle of the zone, or else take it. 3-1.
Jump foul.
A little bit lower than perfect.
Trying to get aboard. Twins got the leadoff man on in the 7th. Didn't score. In fact, they haven't scored since back-to-back doubles. Scored a run in the 5th inning to start the inning. It's chipped down the line. And a long run and a nice catch by Nicky Delmonico. Sliding on the warning track on a long run and a nice catch at the end, 1 down.
Very nice play by Delmonico. Gets it measured, realizes that he's going to be close to the fence, run into the fence if he keeps running through the ball. So just a controlled slide. So as he catches it and hits the ground, he'll start slowing down, protecting himself.
Now Castro 0 for 2 with a walk. Pitches up, ball 1. You see still 93 miles per hour for Soria, but he can back it off to 73 with a very slow breaking ball.
And a pretty nice changeup as well.
Foul back. Swing, but a strike, and it's 1-2.
We talk about back and forth, meaning the pitcher throwing it hard and then something softer, and throwing it a little harder and something a little softer, and even softer still with Soria. That's his game. He's a deception guy. Back and forth, back and forth. Speed deception.
A quick pitch there, up and away, 2-2. And now 3-2 with Lamar on deck.
Once again, Jason Castro, don't get too excited about fastball here. It could be anything. It could be any speed. From the 93 that we saw to the 78 that Dick mentioned, it could be either of those or somewhere in between. Can't be too excited about pulling fastball. Yep, there's a little 87 outside corner.
2 down now in the 8th. That'll bring up Ryan Lamar with the bases empty. Well, baseball, Bryce Harper, as Anthony said, with another big day in the leadoff spot. And the Indians got 5 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th to tie it, and then the Yankees walked them off anyway. So the Yankees keep winning, and the difference between now and a week or so ago is they're playing the Indians and not the Twins. They've gone out to Anaheim, had a good series out there. They're a very good team, and the Indians have them for 2 more games. And as poorly as the Twins have played, if they can have a good rest of the series here in Chicago, and the Yankees do what they've done to just about everybody else, well, the gap between Cleveland and the Twins be narrowed. But you got to start winning ball games, and you have to start playing better baseball.
Well, and yes, and I think in reverse order that you have to start playing the way they can. I mean, you're seeing signs of it at the plate right now, up and down the line. Guys taking better at bats, needing to do that.
6 runs should be enough to win a ball game, but a 7th would sure look nice. And Lamar strikes out. Soria has a 1-2-3 8th inning. Trevor Hildenberger will pitch next for the Twins. It's a 2-run lead, and Addison Reed, who took the loss last night, the walk-off home run by Trace Thompson, has pitched in 3 straight games. So it's Trevor Hildenberger who's asked to get the big outs needed now in the 8th inning. It'll be Palka, Garcia, and Anderson. And a matchup here between former teammates. A year ago, they were both playing for the Rochester Red Wings. Swing and a miss. Talked with Palka a little bit today about some of the guys that he knows very well, having been in the Twins system for a few years, and he mentioned Hildenberger's name.
But until you stand up there at the plate against him, you don't really know.
Changeup can be as devastating to lefties as righties.
Oh, absolutely. It's I mean, I'm sure that's the reason he developed it in the first place. Something for sidearmer to get lefties out with.
Hacked foul off the screen in front of the White Sox dugout.
A situation like that, the pitcher will know the hitter better than the hitter will know the pitcher. The pitcher has seen, if he's paying attention, the vulnerabilities the hitter has. The hitter knows what the pitches are that he throws, but he's never seen them from 60 feet 6 inches. He's seen them from behind him. So until you actually see the pitches, you don't really know what they are. Here comes another changeup.
And got him, showed him the fastball, and struck him out on the changeup. One down. Matt Davidson's left the bases full twice, and Presley struck him out on a check swing in the 7th.
Oh my gosh, yeah, just nasty stuff. Here's 95 up in the zone where Davidson's not great. Here's 96 on the outside upper part of the zone. So now you've seen 2 fastballs and just buries a slider on the outside corner. Just nasty, nastier, and nastiest, and gotten right out of a bases loaded jam. That was some great stuff right there.
Lurie Garcia will hit with 1 out. And a sharp base hit to left. Garcia's second hit. Both of them going to the opposite field. The other was a home run. And that'll get Tim Anderson to the plate. The Women's Baseball Experience returns Saturday, May 19th and is brought to you by Mayo Clinic Sports Medicine. Twins clinicians and coaching staff will lead participants in an interactive on-field baseball clinic and include panels featuring women in sports and nutrition. For more, sign up today at twinsbaseball.com/women's clinic. Anderson is 0 for 3. He's hit the ball hard once back in the 2nd inning. Strike on the outside corner. Anderson hitting 8th in the lineup because he'd really struggled against Barrios in the last couple seasons. Now he's up representing the tying run. And as we mentioned last night, and I think earlier today too, White Sox like to run. They lost 2 runners. Castro threw out a couple of base stealers last night, but they did have 1 successful steal. One strike to Anderson. Bauer will go for the lead runner and get that runner just barely. But Bauer more interested in delivering an on-target throw, knowing there was not a chance to get Anderson into double play.
Exactly right. Good play.
So Joe didn't rush it, made a good play for out number 2, and that'll bring up Narvaez.
Hildenberger makes a good pitch with a slider, a little weak ground ball. Joe takes his time, throws it inside the runner. Rodriguez out there would give him a target inside the runner.
If there is a lead in the 9th inning, presumably that'll go to Fernando Rodney. Hildenberger trying to get Narvaez here for the last out of the 8th. Floats outside, ball 1. Runner goes, swung on and missed, and there will be no throw. Anderson steals second base, and the count's 1-1. Saw that a lot in spring training. Not so much last year as I recall, but of course Trevor, with his unique motion, takes a while for him to, even from the stretch, get the ball to home plate.
It's going to be difficult for Jason Castro to throw anybody out stealing against Hildenberger. He's just too slow to the plate, and there's nothing anybody can do about that. That's his delivery.
Matt McGill warming up again. That's how stretched out the Twins bullpen is as they try to save Rodney for the 9th inning. 1-1. Fly ball. In fact, we'll call it a pop-up.
It is a pop-up.
And Adriazzo wants it. He's got it. And Hildenberger does a great job in the 8th inning. Brian Dozier will hit in the 9th, looking for the cycle. Sports North for kids in the city, benefiting boys and girls clubs of the Twin Cities. Tuesday, June 5th. Tickets are $75 and includes a ticket to the Twins game. If you can't make it to the event, you can still make a difference in the lives of club kids. A donation of $5, $10, or $20 can provide meals, sports team registration, or literacy programming supplies during the summer. Tickets are on sale now at boysandgirls.org/kids in the city. Top of the order, and tonight that means Joe Mauer leading things off against Chris Beck. Soria had a quick 8th inning, and now the Twins would dearly love to add a run or 6 in the 9th. Down and in, ball 1. Mauer is 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, 2 ground balls to short in his move to the leadoff spot.
And he's due to get on base here. Can't keep him off base the whole game.
1-0. 2-0. And then Dozier, who has already tripled, homered, and singled. There have been 10 Twins who have hit for the cycle. A high fly to deep right field. Heading back is Palka. Still going back, and he can't make the play. Up against the wall, Mauer will glide into second base with a presumed double. And Dozier, if he doubles, will be the 11th Twin to hit for the cycle.
Great first at bat. Fouled off a bunch of pitches with 2 strikes and then went the other way. Not the prettiest slide in the world, but a triple nonetheless. And that ball to right field got him going. That at bat, when he saw a lot of pitches, he was getting closer and closer. He's all of a sudden found the ability to wait on the ball a little bit better and know where that big end of the bat is. He's had 3 excellent at-bats tonight.
Mauer at second. It is ruled a double, and now Dozier.
Love to see him trade places with him right here.
Twins got back-to-back doubles to score their most recent run back in the 5th inning. 1 strike.
Dozier's cycle here means a big insurance run and a lot of fun for Brian. Pulling for him.
Swing and a miss, 2 strikes. There have been 5 opponent cycles, including Paul Molitor, who did it while he was with the Blue Jays against the Twins.
That man right there, Paul Molitor, if you were to ask me who would you think might get more than 1 cycle in his career, that'd be one guy that I'd throw out there.
Dozier drives it to right center field, and Engel is over to make a running catch. No chance for Mauer to advance 1 away. Well, in Paul's tenure with the Twins, he had an opportunity to hit for the cycle, needing, I believe, just a single. It would have been his 2nd cycle. The Twins were in Texas, and it was like an 11-3 game. And in the 9th inning, the Texas manager intentionally walked him.
No way.
Ask him about it tomorrow. He'll tell you.
Runners on base?
I don't know, at 11-3.
Well, I know it doesn't matter, but you know, the manager justifies it. Well, the first base is open. I'm trying to win. You know, blah blah blah. That's
Here's Kepler. Big at bat here as the Twins try to get an insurance run. Big swing and a miss. 1 strike.
See, at the end of the season last year and right from the very beginning this year, you see the glove target. That's where just like a lot of how Presley and a lot of our guys are trying to pitch left-handers up in the zone to Kepler. Up in the zone.
He's off that one, 1-1. And Rodney will get the 9th inning. He's given the status of the bullpen. I'm guessing he'll pitch the 9th even if the Twins do score 6 runs. Taken outside, 2-1.
So when you're a low ball hitter and your hitting mechanics dictate that you're a low ball hitter, like so many left-handers are, like Max is, you really have 2 options. You can change your swing mechanics around a little bit to get on top of the ball at the high pitch, or you can just take that pitch all the time. Get your sights down, just take it until you get 2 strikes and they force you to swing it.
3-1. Rosario on deck.
Because there's really no future. There's absolutely nothing positive that can come out of you swinging just because it's a strike, swinging at that high fastball, because that's not where you barrel it up the best. And as we've seen, it's hard to hit that high strike for a pitcher time after time. Just take it 2 strikes. He's going up there again.
And there's ball 4 to fill first base.
You just can't. It's hard for pitchers to hit the strike zone up in the zone. So if you're a left-hand hitter, you know you're a low ball hitter, just take that. See, he gets himself in a jam here by swinging at that first high one. He's 0-1, but then he does a good job of working his way back to a walk and not swinging at that high pitch or the changeups outside. So a good at bat by Max, but my feeling is for guys who are low ball hitters, just get your sights down there and just pretend that any high fastball you see, even if it's a strike, pretend it doesn't even exist until you get to 2 strikes.
Rosario with 2 men aboard. Outside, ball 1. Well, not a knockout punch. Rosario has a chance to get a huge hit here for the Twins.
Oh, I would say it would be just about a knockout.
Swing and a miss, 1-1. Big pop up behind second base. angle is there for the catch out number 2. That'll bring up Escobar, who's reached all 4 times, 2 solo home runs, a double and a walk.
And watch where these pitches are. Breaking ball down just above the knee, crashes that ball to right field. Watch with this. Wants it up, it's down. Crashes the ball to right field again. Escobar is another example. One of the reasons he's swinging the bat so well this year is that he has decided that he doesn't swing at that high pitch anymore. And he's getting pitches he can handle, and he's not missing.
2 on, 2 out. Twins haven't scored since the 5th. They've had chances, including Mauer's leadoff double here in the 9th.
You want to come high fastball. Ooh.
Right down the middle, taking for a strike.
He got a good pitch to hit right there. I don't know what he was thinking. Sometimes stupid thoughts creep into your mind. Maybe he looked like he was taking all the way that time. Like he just wanted to see what Beck has. But maybe he wasn't sure about him.
Now up high. Gill has joined Fernando Rodney down in the bullpen, so maybe if the Twins do put a crooked number up, we'll see McGill and not Rodney. 1-1.
Nope.
Upstairs and a miss. 1-2.
So you have to have the discipline up there not to swing at pitches that you can't handle. They're trying to go up there for a reason. That's just, you see the barrel coming from below the ball up into the line of flight of the ball, and that's not a swing that can handle the ball up in the zone. You just have to let that ball go. Maybe it'll be a strike, maybe it won't, but until you have 2 strikes, just don't put yourself in that hole.
Got him. With Narvaez hanging on to the foul tip and the Twins strand 2, it'll be a 2-run lead for Fernando Rodney in the bottom of the 9th. Twins with 4 home runs hit tonight, all with the bases empty. Escobar had 2 of them. Dozier hit 1. Morrison hit 1. And it's all added up to a 6-4 lead for the Twins. Twins haven't scored since the 5th. The White Sox haven't scored since the 4th. And Fernando Rodney will try to pick up his 4th save of the year.
Not very good numbers for Fernando Rodney, but he has really pitched and thrown the ball a lot better than those numbers would indicate. There have been some freak things and some errors and some things that have happened. He's contributed a little bit by hitting somebody in Tampa and forgetting to hold a runner on well. But I've been impressed with his stuff. 95, 96 still, and that great changeup he's had for 20 years. There it is.
And there is strike one with Engel making his 2nd plate appearance. He bounced to 2nd in the 7th. Then it'll be Sanchez and Abreu. Low, and it's 1-1. That's a foul ball, and it's 1-2. Rodney got off to a slow start last year and then finished with good numbers with the Diamondbacks. But a lot of hits, 13 of them in 9 2/3 innings. Walks have always been a part of his game. 1-2, and a foul back.
Anytime you can throw 95 miles an hour, 96 miles, 94, and then have a great changeup, you got a chance. You got a chance to be really good all the time, every time out there.
And now 2-2. Throughout his major league career, when he's been a closer or a setup guy, he's one of those guys. It seems like there's always guys on base.
Yeah, well, he's a little bit like, remember Don Stanhouse in Baltimore? They called him 3-pack.
Foul back. And it's still 2-2.
Called Don Stanhouse 3-pack because that's how many packs of cigarettes Earl Weaver smoked in the 9th inning and tried to get him through the inning. And Paul knows that that's, as you said, it's part of his game. There's going to be some runners on base. He's going to walk some guys, and just some messy stuff's going to happen. But
Chopper to Dozier. Chest high. Hop. And Mauer with a bit of a stretch, 1 down. We get started an hour early tomorrow for Game 3. It'll be Lance Lynn, who would dearly love for his own sake to give the Twins his best start of the season tomorrow. And former Twin Hector Santiago will go for the White Sox. I wish I did, but I don't. I don't know whether the Twins are going to win this game. But if they do, and if Rodney gets the save, this would be the perfect type of game for them to win, because the starter, while not razor sharp, Barrios got through 6 innings, and then a series of relief pitchers did their jobs. Strike 1 to Sanchez. You know, did his job in the 7th inning. Presley and Hildenberger did their jobs, and the Twins are hoping Rodney will do his. Foul back, 2 strikes.
for the most part, it's been a pretty crisp game by the Twins. This has been a good ball game. Failed to get a runner in from third a time or two, which is a Major League Baseball-wide problem, seems like. But they've swung the bats. They've had good at-bats, and they've played fairly crisply.
Fouled back twice since the White Sox have scored in the fourth. Twice the White Sox have left the bases full. Once Barrios got out of a jam, and the other time Presley got out of the jam.
Barrios got out of the jam with a bit of a hanging breaking ball to Davidson that he grounded to Escobar, who made a real good play. Presley just overmatched him.
Inside 1-2.
Well, we'll see if he's going to get that changeup. He's throwing him all fastballs right here. That last one in under his hands. And there's the change. Yep, he just set him up so beautiful.
2 down, and that'll bring up Abreu.
Fastball, fastball, fastball. Oops, strings pulled. You see the grip. That's just a wonderful changeup in terms of arm speed, in terms of movement, in terms of the speed of the ball relative to his fastball.
Abreu with a home run and 2 singles. Over the inside corner, strike 1. Rios had a couple of 1-2-3 innings. Rodney tried to pitch a 1-2-3 ninth. Chop towards second. Dozier has plenty of time, and the Twins even the series with a 6-4 win.
Much needed win by the Twins, and to Dick's point, very well pitched ball game from the starter through the relievers, and a 1-2-3 closeout by Fernando Rodney. Good ball game to win.
Anthony, last night the Twins struck first, and then the White Sox came back to pick up the win, and tonight it was just the opposite.